Now listen, look, I've got. I'm sitting.
Line them up. Line them up. Let me just go and get my pipe cleaner. Line them up.
All right.
The
Okay.
question.
And then I've got
And
loads of questions for you.
we'll try and knock them out one by one. Otherwise, there's going to be a lot of pissed off people there. You didn't answer my question.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So yeah.
Yeah, right. So you've still got to really talk about pies and sauce. You do realise that that is the whole basis.
I'll talk about anything, mate. I'll talk about anything.
Absolutely.
You
So,
know.
listen, I mean, I'm going to mention a few people's names here and there, and
Yeah.
Toby Grist has said, "Jazz, would you like to come round for a cup of tea, some hash, and a lovely chat about anything that's worrying you?" So, you're going to pop round Toby's house.
Toby, who loves you, Toby? I'll be on my way round. And I'd like to say, I will.
Worrying you at the
I'm
moment?
looking forward to the point where I can go around people's houses and bring some of my pies, and we'll get some mashed potato going. We'll have dinner. I'll play the piano for you as well.
Oh, that's
I'll bring my electric piano over my shoulder,
good.
and we'll have a pie and mash, mate. That's really nice that you say that. Toby, I accept your offer. It's very kind of you, and I'm going to pop and see you. I'm actually going to come see you as soon as I get to the UK. I'll come and
Good
see
man.
you.
Good man. I did hear from a little bird who might have been a kiwi bird that you're actually a rather good cook, and she was saying that
Well,
she
yeah,
your recipe for coffee van at the weekend.
the Killing Joke cookbook. The Killing Joke cookbook is imminent.
I mean,
Everybody in the band is
quite a few
amazing
people have
chefs.
suggested it.
Geordie and you two. Pie is a big part of that. Sitting down and feasting with the people you love is just a great thing. And
Best thing, isn't it?
I do like to cook very much, but all my colleagues in the band are all amazing chefs, which is why we're going to do the Killing Joke cookbook with
No.
all our favourite dishes and stuff like this. That's imminent. Yeah, I like to cook, sure, I mean, there's going to be. I'm going to put a couple of golden tickets in my pie boxes, and if you get a golden ticket, I'll come around to your house. I'll cook for you, and I'll play the piano, and we'll have a laugh. Right? Just get me something to smoke.
Well, you watch sales plummet now. Now, on that subject, Dave Ashworth says that he believes he's heard you mention about fishing and hunting, and
Yeah.
how that you really think that these are like primal spiritual things, and you how much are people missing out of doing that? Growing their own veg, or I mean, there's a big thing about anti-hunting.
That's right. The thing is, one of the things that we've got to do with the gathering, and as soon as we can, we will do it, is that the hunter gatherers, there's so many people in around Kilinja who like fishing and the hunting and gardening, and even so, the idea of collecting our own food, harvesting our own food, and then cooking it with the people we love is like well, it's the archetypal feast, and this is some of the things that I was on the verge of setting up with the hunter gatherers just before the pandemic started. When you're on the boat fishing with the people you like, and then we all eat together and talk about everything. Just that kind of interaction is so important now, where everybody communicates through these fucking screens. Yeah, how important will that be? Now, look, another thing is that there's one of the things I do is I look for locations on the planet of places that will make the most amazing secret gigs, and I have found one location above all others in this most beautiful place, the most heavenly beautiful place for a small concert for like 25 people, 30 people in the most, I mean, paradise. And so doing things like this and being able to invite you,
Yeah.
you know, to an event like this, these are the things that mean a lot to me these days, because
Yeah.
we certainly aren't allowed to do these things, and that's why we should do
No,
them.
no. I mean, I was just watching TV the other day, and I mean, do you know the guy Hugh Fernley Whittingstall? He's there. He's he's producing all his own pigs and his geese, and he's,
Oh yeah, country gardener.
yeah, he chops their head off and eats them, and he knows they've had a good life. And I think there's nothing wrong in that. It's got to be sustainable. It's got to be good. And Raven told me a story about when after the 2003 tour, he came down to the island with you.
That's
And
right. Yeah.
he said it's fantastic. He said he was sat on the boat with you, him, and Geordie, and you went and you were just diving down and grabbing fresh scallops and just
That's
eating
right.
there and then.
And lobster.
And then
Oh yeah.
he said to me, he said, it's fucking brilliant, it's wonderful. He said, I ate so much I puked. I just thought to myself,
Yeah.
you've got an abundance of food like that, and that is it.
Yeah. Well, I tell you that trip, that 2003 tour. Fuck, we nearly killed ourselves on that tour. I mean.
Yeah.
Raven was doing, I gotta tell you, he was doing fucking amphetamine, crack, you name it, everything. And I was drinking then. And so by the time we finished it, oh, it's such an awful tour, man. It was one of the worst tours ever. I mean, Geordie and myself, our PDs, because we're shareholders, our PDs ran out halfway through the tour. So we were living off the deli tray. You've got no idea, Rob, what we're talking about on this tour. It was like a nightmare from hell. We had Parsons, Ted Parsons drumming for us. And of course, he missed the plane to Australia. And so we had to reschedule the whole Australian tour when we got there. And we lost like 100,000 on it. And so then we rescheduled the tour, waiting for Parsons to turn up. And the tour then was starting in Brisbane. So we then had to hire an Australian crew to take all our backline up to Brisbane. And that's where the accident happened. And the guy who was driving up there was beheaded in an accident because Parsons was fucking late. The whole thing was a nightmare. So from this, Geordie, myself, and Raven, we went to the islands and
just to get a bit of.
And I can remember us all sitting on the beach crying. We were so fucked. We were so fucked, man. Anyway, Raven said to me, he goes, Jaz, I've always wanted to go up like pig hunting. Can you set that up? So I set up this pig hunting for Raven on the island with Johnny Blackwell, I think it was. And anyway, I don't know whether anyone knows about pig hunting over there. So Raven went out with this guy pig hunting. And when two dogs, and the dogs, you see, they sniff at the pigs. And the pigs on our island, they're actually from HMS Endeavour. Captain Cook actually bought those pigs to our island. And the hunters keep the pigs going, really, on the island. So anyway, Raven went off for a pig hunt. And the dogs, these two big dogs, grab the wild pig. One grabs its ears and one grabs its kind of balls, and they hold it like that, and the pig's squealing, and Raven is confronted with this sight, and then this tough islander jumped on top of the pig and cut its throat, held the pig over to Raven, and then he cut the tendon on one foot and put the other foot through it, put it on a branch and gutted it in front of Raven. And I don't think Raven had seen anything like this visceral kind of food collecting before. And he was pretty white when I saw him next. We would go fishing every day. It was a beautiful time, decompressing from that tour. And Raven, myself, and Julie, we go fishing almost every day, just for 3 weeks before we could get back to normal. That was a terrible tour.
We miss him. He was such a character, wasn't he?
But you know that. Yeah, oh, Paul, fuck. No, he's here. He can hear you. He can hear you. He can hear now. Paul's around. He'll get the beer on for us.
I mean, that was one of the best nights out I've ever had. His funeral in the bar in Geneva. It was. We were all sat there having a fantastic time. All just saying, he'd have bloody loved this, wouldn't he? We all, it was a joyous occasion, wasn't it? Everybody was in such.
Wasn't it? I forget that you were there, Rob. Yeah, and I hadn't seen Big Paul for so long, and to have us all together again, we took great comfort in each other, and that was it really.
Tell you,
All the things that have happened since Killing Joke, I mean, since then is Paul's blessing, really.
it is, isn't it? I mean, without his passing, none of
I
this.
was pissed off with him. I was pissed.
Yeah,
I was
I'm
pissed off
sure.
with him when he left.
Yeah,
But it wasn't the first. And the thing is, I actually was in touch with him before he died. We just made. He'd already got his foot back in the door to try and get back into Killing Joke.
yeah, yes.
He'd already started the procedure.
Yeah, he was a bugger for that.
Yeah, he's
I
a
remember
rascal.
it was me, the other guys from Headcount, and Colsey. We came over and we landed. I think it must have been Geneva. Yeah, and we picked up a hire car and we saw this bloke walking down, and he was looking absolutely exhausted, shattered, dishevelled, and it was Big Paul. So we grabbed him and we stuck him in the car and said, "Come on, you're with us." And we were sat there, we were talking crap for hours, messing around. And he said, "Fucking hell," he said, "I've not seen Jazz for 26 years." He said,
"Oh, crikey, it was that
he
long."
said, he said, we weren't exactly getting on last time we saw each other. And he said to me, he said, I'm glad there's three big fuckers like you around just in case it gets nasty. And we were all stood there. And the thing I remember really, really clearly, I remember you being late for the funeral, and it was a pretty chilly day. It was October the 31st, and you saw Paul, and the arms went out, and there was this big hug, and it was like patting on the back, kissing and hugging, and it was like 26 years of whatever, completely forgotten.
Well,
And that was the
you
moment.
can.
It was kind of the die was cast. It was
Yeah, because Paul and myself, we're very similar creatures, in the way we are as people. I mean, very similar in many ways, and it was very special. And when I think of like this time last year, when Paul said, because all Paul's parents have passed on, and Paul is the one member of Killing Joke that doesn't have children as well. And he said to me, he said, "You lot, I mean the boys in the band," he says, "are the only family that I've got and ever had."
Yeah.
He said this, and it was so deep,
Well,
That's what he said. When I said goodbye to Paul, I haven't spoken since then. He said, the boys, you and the boys are the only family I've got.
Yeah.
I never had, and that's something. I mean, it's pretty awe-inspiring to be with these guys and spend more time with them than my actual blood brother. When you become this close, like Raven and Youth and all the boys, you become that close when you go through so many milestones. When you've bonded and you've been on stages in front of hundreds of thousands of people, and you've gone through the suffering together and everything, it makes you, even when you fall out, you can't really fall out. You're still like brothers.
I know exactly what you mean. I mean,
you don't always like them, but you love them.
Yeah, because one of the questions, and I can't find it on my list here, is basically, because I remember coming to see you guys at the rehearsal place, and you've been there 3 days, and I said to Paul, "Oh, how's it going?" He said, "We've been here 3 days, and we've played about 3 fucking songs." He said, "It's all kicking off here," and so who's the peacemaker in the band because you're 4 very different characters. When you all get together, there's I mean, Raven told me, he said that, excuse the French here, he said Killing Joke are lovely individually, but when we get together, we're a bunch of cunts. I just thought,
it's horrible.
you know.
And, you know, it's always stressful around Killing Joke. There's never been one recording I can say was a happy recording. It's all been so much anxiety and conflict, and it always will be like this. It always be. I don't know why it has to be like this, but before we do a Killing Joke album, I can't say people go, great, can't wait to get stuck in it. It's like, oh God, here we go, here we go, because that's what it is. You're gonna go through the mincing machine, mate.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be hard.
Yeah.
And it always is. But something amazing always comes out of it. The most important thing is not to have any preconceptions about what's going to happen, what it's going to sound like, or anything like this. Be completely open, because you just don't know what's going to happen with the band. And it's best like that.
Yeah.
We are completely unmanageable as a band. I mean, you've got no idea what these guys are like. You know, you get one of the guys rings up in the accounts department and goes, I don't want to speak to the monkey. I want to speak to the fucking organ grinder. I mean, these people are impossible, man. Yeah. They're unmanageable. There's no management company on earth that can deal with this band. I'll tell you now. Serious. Serious. Take a fucking blowtorch to a manager. I can remember Jazz Summers fielding calls from members of Killing Joke. They were threatening to take a blowtorch to him.
Yeah, well, I know which one that was, yeah. But having
impossible characters, impossible and brilliant characters, and
that's
there's no organisation other than get them all in the room at the same time and put instruments on them and see what happens. There you go. That's it, Rob. That's it. That's the planning. It doesn't go any further than that.
Well, Michael Henry just said he asked you how do you do it? You know, how do you keep the energy up and everything? And I just think that's the answer. You just, you know.
Yeah, it makes you hyper before you even get to Killing Joke. Like the days before, everyone is going to fucking hell. Just because that's when we start communicating with each other, you see, and it's not nice.
You get there and think, oh God, what have I done? Why have I done this again?
No, I've never once doubted my mission with Killing Joke. Not once.
That's good to know.
No. Oh. No. And I've always known that it's going to be the most important band in the world. I've always known that. I was told by Clairvoyance in front of Killing Joke gatherers what was going to happen. I can remember it was in 1989, and I went to a conference of Clairvoyance, and it was in my hometown, Cheltenham. And I remember getting there late, and there's all these old ladies talking about their work with clairvoyancy, and there were Killing Joke gatherers there sitting in the back, and they remember it. And this clairvoyant came up to this woman, started telling her so many details about her life and her ex-husband and everything. And so one was sort of struck, thinking either this is a complete setup, but she's got this information from somewhere, and it's a complete setup, or she's for real. And I remember the atmosphere being very powerful. And then this clairvoyant came up to me and said, I see the whole world. You're thinking of emigrating to New Zealand. Now is not the time. That's what she said. I went, what? And then she said, I see the whole world. And you're going to reach the whole world with your work. And all I can say to you is, don't doubt it. Just go for it. You're going to reach the whole world.
She had
a big smile on her face. And as I'm telling you this now, I can feel it coming through my body. I remember this, and all the things that are transpiring now. Look at Killing Joke now. I had one person say to me not so long ago, everywhere you look is Killing Joke now. Everywhere you look in the world. You know, we've learned that our second biggest market is India. We're just getting started now.
Wow.
You know, and it's true. Killing Joke is now the most influential band in the world. And we're destined for this. We're destined for it. This is it. The vision that I had of this primeval generator pumping out images of a cruel world. Well, I had this image when I was 18 or so. That's real. That's my reality now. You know, we're playing to massive audiences. We're the most important band in the world now. And at the same time, I'm a maestro of the world's greatest orchestras. I'm very proud of this too, because, you know, I left school with no exams and 4 criminal offences. So Killing Joke has been my total education. I am a conductor today. I am a composer, a philosopher. All these things. I was nourished by the invisible college of Killing Joke. You know, I mean, given all this wonderful education through the gathering and through interaction with brilliant people, by rejecting the educational agendas of the past, and just whenever I needed a master, I would find the best person in the world and I would hunt them down and say, I want to learn about this. And more often than not, they became my mentors, and this is how I progressed. Really, I banged hard on people's doors and said, "I want to know about this and that," you know. And I got so lucky. I mean, in the 80s, what people don't realize is I made contact with the conductor of the Berlin Philharmonic, Klaus Tenstedt, and he became my mentor when I was about 20, 25, 26. And he then guided me to various communist or Eastern European countries where I started studying classical music. He gave me the structure, and I'm still with that same structure today, you know, which is to say, I still have my master, Dr. Sanders, and it was Klaus Tenstedt that put me in touch with my master today, who's in his 80s, and because you can never learn enough, and I love the interaction with my master, but that's different subjects. For my master for studying remote viewing was Yuri Geller, who's now back in Israel. And the mythology, William Anderson, and I take a different master and I stay with them for different subjects. And Sir Lawrence Gardner, also in my understanding of history and Masonic history and stuff. So I've had really the best teachers, but by I've always seen my work with Killing Joke as something educational, and our work in Killing Joke is certainly educational, because if you think about the effect that Killing Joke has on so many people, I mean, I can cite generational movements of art that have been inspired by Killing Joke, and I call it the mirror effect. You know, when people see Killing Joke, and they say they have this feeling of, if these dickheads can do that, anyone can do anything. You know, it really has this huge effect where you leave a Killing Joke concert and all you can think about is what you're going to do, your contribution, what you're going to do, doing your will, doing a creative project to please yourself. I mean, this is the effect Killing Joke has.
Yeah, so I'm proud of. Because, you know, I've been listening to you guys for God knows how long, but you do see, I mean, my kids love Killing Joke. You know, it's been passed on, you know.
So family.
You know, and it just carries on. But then I listen to, you know, when you see like, you know, Nirvana and Metallica and all that, that's all been done. But there's just this new band that I've been really getting into, Fontaines, DC, and you can hear is this band from Ireland, and they're just banging out, and it's Killing Joke. Oh,
is that right?
Yeah, great. I mean,
it's one of my daughters is calling at the moment. I'm just going to wait till. Yeah, well, I, you know, as far as the new bands inspired by the band, I'm not really up to date on these things. By all the younger inspired, but no, you know, we don't spend too much time in the band thinking about the past, except when we think of Raven or some of the old friends that we miss and stuff like this. And most of our energies are spent on what we're doing now and what we're going to do. You know?
A lot of people have asked questions here. And I've got on there. It's like, what if? What are your favourite moments? What have been the most exhilarating things? What would you change if you could have done them? I don't know. Do you want to answer that? Because you're, like I say,
oh God! If I could have kept Raven in Prague, I always have the feeling he'd be alive today. So that's something I torture myself about a lot.
I
have any control over that. He just fucking left.
Yeah.
I think about these things a lot. But what if? I don't know.
Look, you're talking to a bloke who's asking himself, what if, for God knows how long, the last few months, everything is just, what if I'd have said this? What if I'd have done that? My life would be completely different. And you can't spend your whole life doing what if, can you?
Generally speaking, most people in my family, I'd say, being born into an academic family, and I didn't really comply. I was an enigma to my family and the way I was. I just can't work in harness as a person. I am, and I think my colleagues are, the product of having unlimited freedom. We've just done exactly our wills and what we want to do, and that is it. Doing your will. If everybody concentrates on their God gift, the thinking is that everybody is born gifted, and life is the location of your gift and the selfless execution of your gift. And then spiritually harmony. Then you're in harmony with the universe when you do your will, your God gift, what you're gifted at doing and what you love doing. Like the pie. The pie is something. It's a passion.
Yeah.
It's a passion. I did the pie and the chili sauce. I love chili sauces. I know chili sauce makers in New Zealand that you wouldn't know. And we have this chili sauce called Kai Tai Fire in New Zealand, which is just an amazing chili sauce. And the owner of this hot sauce company is somebody very dear to me, and another chili sauce company as well. And the reason is, these chili sauce companies of New Zealand were basically former marijuana growers who got busted and then they used prison money to start the businesses. So there you go. There's prison reform in the bottle.
Oh, that's amazing. Carla said to me, it's like it's worse than working with the mafia. She said she's learned so much about the underworld just messing around with hot sauce, which we had some tonight, by the way. We're halfway through the bottle. And
fucking masterpiece, isn't it?
It blows my tip.
I took your advice on trying. The first time I did the test, it was on wings after you advised to try the sauce on chicken wings, and it works fucking great.
It doesn't.
Yeah, but chili makes you actually high. When you consume chili, it touches the same parts as cannabis and everything else. It actually gives you a high. I love chili. I've actually been on chili pilgrimages throughout southwest of the United States, and I know my chilies. So again, it's a passion. It's a passion. I follow the things that I love. Only.
Yeah.
You should only ever do what you like doing in life. You should never do what you don't like doing. And if you can remember that, that's the most important thing. Never do what you don't like doing. Yeah. Don't compromise. When I realized this after I smoked my first joint when I was a teenager, I suddenly realized all this. I thought, what the fuck am I doing here? I'm in the school uniform. I said, what the fuck? I'm not going to do anything I don't want to do from now on. From now on, nothing.
Yeah.
Anything that displeases me, I don't do it. Someone else, fuck off. Hey, and it's a really good philosophy. It's worked out well for me.
Yeah.
Other people can. If you do something you don't like, you won't do it with love. You won't do it properly. You can only do things with love. That's the way we animate everything as artists. Is just, and I only make music when I feel like it. Now I do things feel like it, not because I'm told to.
Yeah.
It's like Killing Joke. You'll book a rehearsal with Killing Joke. We could go like 2 days and just fucking sit around, you know.
Yeah.
But when we feel like it, we get it together. It's like this.
Yeah.
I don't know. When the spirit is on you, off you go. I can't describe it now. It's the same when I'm writing classical music. I book out the day. I put my piano there and everything there, and then I do nothing. I just try and get myself in the mood, like literally try and get myself in the mood to compose. And then sometime in that day, the spirit will come on me, and I just go, oh, I know what to do, and it will just come like this. And I have to wait for those moments, and I don't do anything until those moments arrive. I just kind of make myself available, if you know what I mean. But I mean, it's definitely a spiritual thing.
I mean, I remember one of the head count songs coming to me as I walked through the car park at Sainsbury's. You never know when it's gonna catch you. You can sit down there and think, right, today I'm going to do this, and nothing happens, and it's the most frustrating thing in the world. And then suddenly you'll pick up an instrument, and before you know it, bang, there it is. And I don't know where it comes from. It's impossible to say where it comes from, but when it hits you, it hits you, doesn't it? And you receive it, and you think, right, but where does it come from? I just don't know. But it's a wonderful thing when it does.
That's right. I don't really give that too much thought, really. If you make your life colourful, all the music or art's already written, and it just comes out of you. I don't really think about it.
Yeah,
much more than that.
It's there.
But you know, I'm very proud when I look at the last, changing the subject a second, when I look at the last few years, because I don't think Killing Joke could have worked more, especially in America, than we did, and we have done in the last few years. Everyone's been working really, really hard, and you know, that last tour with tour, we picked up so much traction from that tour, and those big stadiums. I mean, and Killing Joke's really mastered the big stage now. Really on that tour, on the last 2 years, Killing Joke's really got the big stage thing, like it's never had before, and it's such a pleasure working with the band, and it's so fucking funny, so funny. I mean, you know, on that last tour, you know, Youth, he comes up to me, he goes, "Hey, Jaz, have you seen that guitarist from the tour?" He goes, "When he hits his effects pedals, he puts his hands out like they're wings, like he's gliding like that." And he goes, yeah. So there I am, I'm on fucking stage, right? And I suddenly see you hit his effects pedal like this big echo starts like that. And I'm looking from behind you, and he starts flapping his arms like he's a fucking seagull. Like, I have to turn my back to the audience. I'm looking at Paul. I fucking howl. I mean, it's moments like that that just make it for me. Youth is the only person that made Ian Curtis laugh his head off. I mean, Ian Curtis used to be backstage watching Killing Joke on stage almost every night, because something would always happen.
Yeah.
You know, Youth would get stuck with his jacket, trying to take his bass off. Trying to take his jacket off without taking his bass off. That was happening. Okay. And he got stuck. And he goes, "Give us a hand, Jaz." And I came out from the keyboard and give him a tug like that. And he was like this. And we just left him like that for about a minute. And the whole place was laughing. He's going, "You cunt, I'll get you, Phyllis." He's like this. It's moments like that. Hey, they're a very funny band. They are funny people.
That's the way you do it, isn't it? It's you create music, but it's those things that only you as a little unit get, you know, and it creates something that just it's a bond that can't be broken, isn't it? I mean, I you know.
Oh, they drive me nuts. I mean, I drive the rest of the guys completely nuts, and they drive me nuts too. Equally, I'm sure. I'm very close with Big Paul these days. It's funny, we had all that friction in our past, and we're on tour. He functions very, very much like me, because there's so much discipline needed for longer tours, especially at this age. And you have to watch your diet. You have to. I mean, I like to smoke a bit of weed, but I can't. I give up smoking when I'm touring. And, you have to really physically look after yourself. And Paul's always. I always bump into Paul in the gym. Oh, how you doing today? And this kind of thing. So he's a big source of support when we're on the road, Paul. And then we got the upstairs in the bus. You got the bad boys room at the back, which all the smokers go in. You know, I mean, the problems we have, we get into half the band are like real smokers. You know this, and so when the tour manager prepares a tour, they have to get a bus that's a smoking bus, and of course they don't exist. And then the band, they all want smoking hotels. They don't exist either, but that doesn't matter because they don't care about your complaints. They just want a bus that is smoking, and they want a hotel that is smoking, right? Otherwise, nothing happens.
The amount of times you just see Geordie, you're at a venue or something like that. He just lights up a fag, and he just doesn't give a shit, does he? He's just like, I'm Geordie. I'm gonna.
I don't give a fuck. And we're playing stages where if you smoke on stage, it's a $10,000 fine.
Yeah.
And then Big Paul goes, if you get busted for that, it's not coming out of mine. It's like this, but they don't give a fuck. They smoke, and touch wood, so far so good,
I mean, I love the story.
But it is fun. We have amazing conversations in the back lounge upstairs. I mean, amazing conversations. Two conversations come to mind. First, one is, as you know, I've been working with the Russian orchestra, finishing off the Nirvana stuff. But anyway, we got on the subject of talking about Kurt Cobain in the bathroom there, and I didn't know half of it. That my colleagues think it wasn't a suicide, and they provided me with their views and evidence and the documentary on Kurt's untimely death, and it made sense when my colleagues told me that they thought he'd been assassinated. It all made sense. All the problems I had with the project, because I think that Kurt just didn't want to go further with anything until I grasped that one single thing, that he didn't leave this planet voluntarily. And here's the thing, and I think everybody's going to really enjoy it as well, because next year I'm going to put together 8 of the best clairvoyants in the world, and you can see their analysis of Kurt's death. You'll see it wasn't an accident, and so I've had to reevaluate my views, which of course shapes the work I did on behalf of Kurt Cobain, because I felt there was something wrong with the picture, and it took a long process to realize what actually happened in that picture, and that Kurt wanted me to realize this. I'm sure of it. So I've witnessed. Yeah, it comes out next year. It's with the Russian, with the St. Petersburg State Orchestra, and I'm so proud of it.
Is that
and that record wouldn't happen if I hadn't had help from the Ministry of Culture in Russia. I've got to be honest, right? They really helped me in Russia. I mean, my last manager sent me to Russia to work with the Moscow State Film Orchestra. But when I got there, it wasn't the Moscow State Film Orchestra. It was an amateur orchestra, and he'd just gone off with the money.
I see.
So I was in a situation where I was being sued by my record company because I hadn't provided the recording.
Well,
so I wrote a letter to the Russian Ministry of Culture and said, I'm in a terrible situation, And then they very kindly flew me out to Russia, and I recorded it all for nothing.
And I'm glad you did, because I mean, when Dad died and when Noah died, those were the first pieces of music I played was Magna, and we sat out.
Magna.
Yeah.
I'm talking about what's going to come next.
Oh, I
what's
beg.
coming out this year.
Right.
The
No,
new year. The tour was much longer than Magna. I mean, the same manager that got me involved in doing Symphonic Killing Joke with crowdfunding, which he knew I couldn't raise the money in 6 months. Just thought it was a way to finish off my classical career, which is becoming a problem for him. So basically, when the 6 months were up, firstly, I didn't get any money from the crowdfunding. They just went off with it all.
Yeah, they did.
And secondly,
yeah,
my name was about to be dragged into the mud, as you well know.
There were a few
everybody invested. There was nothing to show. And then suddenly, Rob, I had this dream of a winter palace and a full orchestra in the Tsar's winter palace. I never have dreams. I had this incredible dream. And then the next day, all the funding was there for me to work with the best orchestra in Russia. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? It was just like, what a shock. What a shock. And then suddenly I'm on my way to Russia to record it all. And that's what you got. Magna is a manifestation from the angels, because it shouldn't have happened.
No.
It wouldn't have happened. It's by magic it happened.
I mean,
I went to shit, man, for that. I went to shit for that.
Actually, I don't know, you won't know this, but today I listened to the new remastered version of Pylon, and it sounds absolutely fantastic. So my friend Tim Turan, who is a Sony award-winning master, he's done Slade and Madness and whatever, and he's done the last couple of albums for you. He's just done the Pandemonium and the singles, but yeah, Nick's sorting out a new re-release of Pylon, but an expanded version, and it sounds fantastic. I mean, it's
well, you know, there's 15 songs on Pylon. And we couldn't come to an agreement on what would actually go on the main album. None of us could come, and that's a good thing, you know, because I mean, I love every song of every one of the 15 songs. Not many bands do 15-song albums, but yeah. But the next album is going to be electric. Pylon's nothing. The longer you leave Geordie Walker, the longer you leave this guy, the better it is. Yeah. And especially a year like this year. Geordie have had just a year to, well, not just look after his daughter, but and his son. He's a full-on father, and he's looking after his mum as well. At the same time, I take my hat off to him. But I know that he's worked really, really hard on the new Killing Joke album. And the longer you leave Geordie, the more dangerous it's going to be. Which is why I'm not in a hurry with Killing Joke, because I know by the time we get round. First of all, I'm going to go off with Geordie, and I'm getting all my keyboards delivered to Mexico.
Right.
And I'm fed up with not playing keyboards. So for this album, in its rehearsals and everything, the new album, it's back to a 4-piece.
Fantastic.
Yeah. But that's my business. I shouldn't be telling you stuff like this. But yeah,
the thing is, it's like what I noticed in the last 3 albums, how much more productive you've been. If I look at some of the, because when we've been trying to, I've been working a lot with your label to try to get reissues done. I was trying to find, you know, extra things, new things to find, and either you never recorded them or somebody's hidden them away. But
there's loads of them. Yeah.
Where is it? If you can find it, then you know we've got a few more projects to do. But I'm amazed about the productivity on the last, especially the last album. And like you're right. I mean, that it's kind of a, it was now going to be a 3 LP set with all those extra tracks, because there's just so much good stuff there. And you know, it's like, where does it come from? Because everybody must be chucking their hat into the ring and coming up with stuff.